Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast. I am Garrett Weinzierl, and I am joined, as always, by Willie Dills Gregory and Mr. Kyle Fergusson. How you guys doing? Welcome back, Dills.
Excellent. Yeah, good to be back, by the way. Good job on the episode 3, though. I was bummed to miss it, but, jobs and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. We just poached Ben from our other show we do, and all was well with the world.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just sad you didn't get to brag about how awesome I was that whole week, and now you were so busy this past week, we didn't get to rekindle your awesome feelings.
I know. I didn't even get to play, barely at all. I actually, though, this last week was the end of Season 1 in Hearthstone, so every moment of gaming I possibly had was pretty much spent playing Hearthstone. Unfortunately, I fell just short of reaching my goal, so I'm a little bummed about that.
But, you're never allowed to say that on a game specific podcast, right? Because then immediately people just start raging. They're like, "How dare you do the show about this one game when you played another game? How dare you? You could not play another game."
I get a pass. I think everybody knows that I do all the other shows, so I feel like I don't know. I'm just giving myself a pass. I don't care what they say.
You can give yourself a pass. I'm sure someone out there isn't going to give you one, but. Anyways, it's another week. It's another show. Plenty of Heroes of the Storm stuff has been going on in the past week, and this is going to be at least my last show for a week. Because next week, no Angry Chicken, no A Move Radio, no Into the Nexus, because I'll be out of town. So there, enjoy this while it lasts.
It's awesome for me to not have. I mean, I love the podcasting, but I never really get a break.
Yeah.
So. I can plan something on a Monday night. This will be weird.
I know.
What should I do?
And I get to not plan something because I'll be on a cruise. So it's like, oh well, there's just alcohol and food everywhere. So I guess that's what I'm doing.
Get deathly ill. That's what you need.
That's what I'm going to try really hard to do. I've been on plenty. Haven't gotten sick yet. So knock on for Micah.
But it's just it's like a play ending or something. You're like day one, you're like, oh man, isn't this great? Just relax the first night, and then by Thursday night, you're gonna be like, what am I doing with my life? I'm watching TV. Who am I?
Yeah, it's true.
What is this Pawn Stars crap? Who watches this?
Yeah. What the hell? What MTV doesn't play music videos anymore? We've been podcasting for the last 30 years.
As are off choppers.
I was just about to say, you apparently have been podcasting longer than there have been iPods. If you weren't aware that MTV stopped playing music.
You guys don't know. I originated podcasting. I started it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm like the Raynor. This is another Hearthstone thing. I'm like the Raynor of podcasting. I invented everything in podcasting.
Oh, okay. I don't get that joke.
He clearly invented every deck in Hearthstone. Is the running joke now. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That seems to be the theme of the week on the internet, is people trying to take credit for inventing things.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the air.
That's a thing now. People are just like, oh yeah, I did that. I don't know if you guys have seen the comic where it's like, some guy's like, hey, I made this. And then the guy takes it and looks at it and goes, I made this.
Yep.
And it's just it's like this weird thing on the internet. People just feel like they can get away with whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, to kick off the show, have some comments on, got some emails for some listeners regarding last week's episode. Yuri emailed in and said that we had mentioned the absence of the experience value of hero kills in the current game UI, and he wanted to let us know that value is actually available at the top bar under the kill announcement. It's not up there permanently, obviously, but it's up there right when the kill is made. So he said, just FYI, you're morons.
I guess I never looked up there. Okay.
Yeah, well,
right, it's pretty small. When you kill a creep, just a dude in the lane. By the way, I just learned that is only the caster little creeps that drop the health globes. So if you're farming health globes for your particular ability where you get something based on health globes, just run around killing all the little wizards.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Good to know.
But I love new games because this is that stuff that's going to seem like breathing in a couple of weeks.
Sure.
and right now it's like learning how to shift click. It's like, oh my god, where has this been all my life?
Yeah.
But you kill a normal sort of creep in the lane, about 75 XP. Beginning of the game, 63, whatever floats up. You kill a hero, you get about 500. You kill a fortress, it's about 3,500.
Oh,
so
damn.
Still,
huge
heroes,
experience disparity.
Now, do you guys know, do you get XP for killing the walls that are not actually necessary to kill. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like the extra walls on the left and right? No?
No.
It doesn't do anything for you?
If you do, it's so minuscule I haven't noticed, but I don't believe it gives anything.
You don't. And if you think about it this way, you only get XP for the things the announcer announces. So fort destroyed, hero kill, and so on.
Makes sense.
Well,
I never kill them. I just always wondered, like, would that be some like viable strategy to like actually finish off all of the little? Because it's a thing you can kill.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's possible to kill it.
Sides.
Yeah.
I like killing it just because I A move everywhere just from like StarCraft habit.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you don't A move everywhere in StarCraft, but you know what I mean. And the damn walls piss me off because my hero will start targeting that instead of creeps. I'm just like, what are you doing? So I'll just break the walls so I can A move more comfortably.
I know that there are some advantages to doing it for like certain heroes that have, you know, abilities that they can do. Oh, there you go. DJ Dre, as I just said, clear them so you can get better line of sight on your hooks. Yeah. So if you're Stitches, maybe it makes sense. But I never killed them. I just thought maybe I should be. But you know.
Also, if you're just a mobile hero in general, it's not, the more room you have to move around, the better.
Sure.
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, no XP. Also, Kyle, addendum to what you said. Creep kills aren't announced, and I'm glad they aren't because that would be annoying. And
oh my goodness.
Oh, I guess
destroyed. Just constantly. That'd be amazing.
Mercenary captures, I guess, are announced. So,
they are. Yeah.
Okay. But I believe you also get XP for just killing them, not necessarily capturing them, and that's not announced. But you're talking about like big things.
Yeah,
exactly.
Things that matter.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. By the way, thank you for the email, Yuri. And if anyone ever wants to email in, correct us, comment on whatever we're talking about on this episode, you can send that to itncast@gmail.com.
But of course, wait to the end of the show, because last time we got some great emails from people that were like, hey, just so you know, the smart casting. And then 20 seconds later, we got the next email saying, whoops.
Oh, by the way, I didn't get to the end. You guys figured it out. Yeah, we got like 3 of those. 3 different people emailed us in the middle of listening to our show and then re-emailed us to let us know. Never mind, you guys got it. We're good.
Dedication.
We're good.
I'm happy they're passionate.
Yeah. Everyone was, and these aren't like, we're not saying these are jerks. These are really polite people who are clearly just trying to educate us. Anyways, getting into the news from this week, we had another patch dropped. What is today's date? The 1st. So it dropped 2 days ago on the 29th. And some things are changing. So first off, custom games have been disabled again. They didn't really explain why.
Well, yeah, maybe some changes are being made.
They did to an extent. They put out an official statement this past week after the very first kind of organized tournament happened. And they said, we don't want this happening right now. This is a display of skill that we don't think the alpha is ready for, and it's just going to cause more problems than it's worth.
Okay, fair enough. We're going to talk a lot about that also here in a little bit. Okay, that explains it. Still, I want to be able to just play against friends. Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
All right, first up on the list of changes, though, is my current favorite hero, Brightwing, who the barbarian you and I just played a game with, Kyle, apparently does not understand how she works.
Why are you not clicking heal on me? Why?
Because it's passive and it's slow, and you should not be engaging 5 people at the same time, no matter who your healer is.
I have a heal. I just have a passive heal. That's it. That's all I got until level 10.
Anyone out there looking for strategy advice? Don't engage the entire team by yourself. I don't care what healers are standing behind you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like, it needs to, you know.
We were level 2. You don't have at level 2. Doesn't happen. So Gust of Healing, which is the level 7 talent that augments your pulse to happen every X amount of seconds. Its cooldown has been increased from 30 seconds to 60 seconds, so it's been doubled.
Yeah.
And then the healing pulses have been reduced from once per second over 5 seconds to once per second over 4 seconds. So the effect is greater, but you're doing it less.
Yeah. Okay. So the passive effect all the time was reduced to 4 seconds?
No.
Just during this Gust of Healing.
Just during the Gust of Healing.
Okay. Got it.
Right.
Gust of Healing is a talent at level 7, which makes it so you can actually activate your healing pulse, and it just rapid fires for.
It just increases it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And I always take that. I always took it because it was really, really good.
Oh, sorry. No. I'm reading this wrong. I have to correct myself. Healing pulse is reduced once per second over 5 seconds and once per second over 4 seconds. It hasn't changed at all. It's just even shorter. So it's been hardcore nerfed.
Yeah.
This thing has been slapped in the face, which I'm kind of okay with because I usually go with the fire and forget, which is the regenerative rains, which activates your healing pulse every time you use an ability.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't whatever. Don't need to think about it. I have enough stuff to worry about and think about with Brightwing.
Yeah.
So
see, I always took this though because in that early game, in that level 7 period of time where you don't have ultis yet, this like almost felt like a mini ulti. Like it was like
right, especially if you use blink heal. It really kind of it fills that gap for 3 levels.
Yeah, and it gives you another option when you don't have blink heal as well later when it's on cooldown. Another way to kind of help your team in team fights. So I always did take it. It just seemed like it was just really good. So and I guess it was really good because they nerfed it.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, usually activated abilities are preferred over passives because you have more control over it, therefore can make more decisions, which is good.
Yeah,
it just
more buttons.
It just seems so nice because like the reason I like the Reigns one is just because, well, if I'm using abilities, chances are it's because we're in a fight, which means I probably want to be healing more. So why not just have it be passively doing more?
Sure, that makes sense.
And now I feel more vindicated in that in that decision because this has been hit hard with a Nerf bat.
Well, no, see now you feel like wrong. This is like when I found out that wounding shot was being nerfed. I was like, wait, I was never taking that.
Dills,
like,
are you telling me?
OP period of time.
Are you telling me I'm wrong? You're telling me I'm doing it wrong. Fine.
You were doing it wrong. Now you're probably doing it right. But
sit in your tower.
You missed out on all the OP-ness of Gust of Healing. That's what I'm saying. Because you weren't taking it, and it was OP, and they had to nerf it.
The first unironic use of OP-ness on this show. Wonderful.
You never want to miss out on OP-ness. That's all I'm saying.
No, you never do.
You never want to miss out on it.
The spell Bribe also got nerfed. You now have to spend 20 stacks to bribe and this is very important, single mercenary. The way bribe used to work is at 40 stacks, you could go bribe an entire group of mercenaries instantly.
Right, and to take a step even further back than that, you would pick this at level 1. So you had to make the investment between having more health the entire game or having more regeneration across the entire game. At level 1, you would choose, okay, I'm going to be the person that for every creep kill I get, I'm going to get a single stack of bribe so that I can go around and get the creep camps easier for my team.
Exactly. And it's incredibly strong. If you're not in the game and you're not playing, being able to instantly get mercenaries on your side can swing the game so hard and so fast.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about in strategy today about ignoring the objectives of the given maps in the game. And really the only way to make that work is by going hardcore mercs. So this nerf to bribe is making that strategy even harder. But honestly, this is one of those changes where I'm not sure if you ever had this in WoW, Dills, but Kyle and I have noticed this a lot with StarCraft, where it's like I'm sad it's getting nerfed, but I can't argue with it at all because it makes a lot of sense.
It really does. And after, like, we talked about it briefly before the show, but you made a good point that the 2 giants is really easy to get. Like solo, you can solo those merc camps, but the knights are tough to solo, especially at early levels.
Right.
And to have it be worth the same was very strange. So
yeah, absolutely. I was very surprised the very first time I ever tried bribe, and the knights cost the same amount of bribe as the siege giants.
Yeah, and they're more effective overall, really, because you can really push with those guys, and you're like kind of in the middle of. Especially when some creeps come and join you.
Oh, and dude, if you stand in the whatever the caster is called in the group of knights, if you stand in his circle that gives you increased attack speed, you can swing a fight your way so freaking fast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this makes a lot of sense. And I actually feel like not only should they do changes like this, but they might need to just kind of nerf mercs across the board a little bit. Because right now when you're playing a game, if one team just goes for mercs the entire game, like they just win. That team just wins. No matter like what else happens, really.
Well, it's map
Mercs
control.
are really, really strong right now.
Yeah, you're pushing the other team back into their base. They're having to play defensively. Meanwhile, if you get those initial mercs, like they're trapped in there while you are continuing to get all the mercs. It really just amplifies the snowball.
Yeah. But what I mean is like it might just be like this one thing which is involved in every single map might be a little too strong currently, where if it was knocked down just a touch, where the mechanics of the map mattered as much as getting mercs. Like you go get all the mercs, but we do all of the mechanic of the map. You know, who wins isn't like the mercs, because right now it's the mercs. You know?
Well, so. Yeah, the map that it's most. I feel like we're treading over our strategy section, so maybe we should.
All right, yeah.
Maybe we should hold this for later.
Should pull it back a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Other changes have been made. The bribe.
Well, I did want to say one more thing about this here.
Sure thing.
Because you do need the 20 stacks to bribe a single mercenary. So when you go in there and you find yourself the ogres, there's 2 of them there. It's going to cost you 40. They've also changed it so you can only hold a maximum of 50 bribe right now. So there's no possible way for you to buy an entire night camp at once.
Right.
You cannot instantly get that thing. So it's more of a time investment. You need someone there with you if you are going to get the knights. And altogether, that's a good choice. Those knights shouldn't be worth as much as the ogres.
No, it's true. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Being able to take out 2 of the knights before you start the fight, too, is still pretty nice.
Yeah. Speeds it up.
But yeah, the siege giants are the same as they've always been. You just have to click twice because there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
So it's really not that bad.
That's still 40. So yeah, that didn't really change.
Yeah. Well, knights are better than siege giants. Do not take this as us saying siege giants aren't worth it, because they are. Being able to wail on towers out of range of the tower is awesome.
Yeah. They're
it's
pretty
so
good.
Nice. So yeah, the maximum stacks has been reduced by 10. And well, that's all the important stuff. It talks about the bribe, cowering and defeat, but that makes sense. Illidan, his metamorphosis, which is we've been referring to affectionately as the win button. It's his ulti where he grows wings and applies his mark of the Illidari to everybody. I believe that's what it's called. But the health scaling has been reduced. It originally was 150 health plus 78 health per level. It is now 150 health plus 50 health per level. So that's a sizable nerf.
It's still pretty strong, though.
It's still really strong.
On. Yeah.
I have noticed Illidan going down a little more, though, this week.
Well, I think he scales a little better, too, because there's certain points towards the end of the game where he pops it, and it's like, well, everybody run away, because Illidan is impossible to kill right now.
If it's
leave him alone till he's done with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like in my experience currently, if it is an even team fight, 5 versus 5, and an Illidan is there and pops his ulti, the other team should really just run away until it expires.
Yeah, it's insane how good it is. Unless maybe, on your team you've got like Tassadar who went all crazy too. Like maybe then it could even out. But his ulti is just so good. It's like. And then also the fact that like he's impossible to kill and he can kill everybody really fast. So you combine those 2 things, it's sick. You can't kill him. So I always just get the hell out.
And his other ultimate is that he can charge someone from anywhere on the map, just beeline to him and do some pretty decent damage. I know it's not the direct philosophy, but I do kind of feel like one ability is more defensive play, maybe the one you should pick when you're behind at level 10, and one is more the ability you should pick if you're just straight up winning. Yeah, and gaining health, gaining some mobility with the metamorphosis really seems like more of the defensive choice. And right now, it was just all offense. There was no reason not to pick. And in fact, with that amount of health you got when you transformed, it was more like fighting him twice. He would show up, get down to about a fourth, pop it, just have huge health. The regeneration's going too, and he'd just destroy everyone. So it makes the other ability a better choice as well.
Yeah. And Tychus kind of has a similar type thing, right? When he goes into... What is he? What's it called? Odin, yeah, because he has like a second health pool, right?
Oh yeah, so when he transforms,
similar.
He becomes completely a different health pool.
Yeah, and it's a similar type of thing with Illidan, right? Like it's like you could get him low, and then he gets out of it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's got that health now. Like it was just a weird thing, and it would always like be. It just felt impossible to kill him. So
it is like. Plus this number, so it wasn't a percent-based thing like all of a sudden, he gets 20% health of what he had. No, it was just like dropped on top of his health was this pile.
Yeah. And then when you like look at like that and, then I'm playing Nova where like I'm in the middle of my ulti and somebody just kills me. I'm like, well, this isn't the same. This isn't nearly as good. It seemed a little crazy. So I'm glad they nerfed this one a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that. Raynor also getting a little bit of a nerf. His Inspire has been the cooldown on it has been increased from 12 seconds to 15 seconds, which, considering what I heard about the tournament this past weekend, I agree with that. Also, the Art of War slow search radius has been decreased from 8 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So they didn't really nerf his damage. They just nerfed his buffing.
Yeah,
basically.
kind of his abilities.
Yeah. His buffing is good. So if that was the thing that was making him OP, because he felt OP too. So.
Inspire is really good, especially if you spec into Revolution Overdrive, which gives him the movement speed increase, plus even more movement speed increase for every friendly that's in range.
Right. Well, and remember that the duration hasn't been nerfed here, so it's still just as good. The problem was with that 12 seconds, he'd buff himself 20% more attack speed and damage for 8 seconds. So the majority of the time, he could have this
there was
active
there's a 4-second window where Raynor wasn't totally
where
awesome.
He was normal.
Yeah.
So now there's 10 seconds. So it's 1/3 of the time instead of 2/3. So
you get a much bigger window where Raynor is a lot easier to engage.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Inspire is way better than I think a lot of new players are giving it credit for.
Yeah. It's in the tutorial. It says use this all the time. Like it even says it to you. It says every time you can use this, use it. And clearly that's what you're supposed to do. But so 66% of the time you're buffed. That's crazy. So now it's this feels better.
Yep. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, nerfs are never usually perceived as a good thing, but there's not a lot of them, and it seems like it's very targeted.
Yeah. The first round we had so many. This time it's less. This means we're getting closer. And that's that's the whole point of this damn thing is let's get everybody in line, and then then it's time to start putting in all the good stuff.
Exactly.
Like the ability to watch games and replay and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we can talk about, nerf and buff philosophy, but this really isn't the time for it in an alpha.
No.
Certainly when we're down the road, I would prefer to see a grand ability. Let's make everything else just as grand. But at this point, there are going to be things that are just wacky, out of the way, bad.
Yeah. I don't understand the people who just say, well, you should just buff everything. It's like, well, no, if everything else is pretty much in line, it'd be easier just to knock a couple things back. It just seems more efficient to me. I don't think saying one is the good philosophy and one is the bad. I can see where you need to do both at times. And
this game is going to be one heck of a balancing act. I do not envy the task ahead of them because you have roles on top of this. I mean, an assassin should kill a support. There should not be a one-on-one balance. Let's load them up in the computer and just run the numbers for every single thing. Like, it is a dynamic team-based game.
But at the same time, a support should be able to maybe survive and escape from an assassin on a one-on-one.
Most certainly.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, you can check out the full patch notes over at the official site. We got links in the show notes over at amove.tv/ITN. If you're listening live, they're not up yet. But it goes up after the podcast posts. We got some data mined heroes. This came from scripts of hero interactions, apparently.
So these are they dug into the game and found some of the lines that heroes are going to say to each other when they kill one another. And some of these are just great.
Yeah, so here's all of the data mined heroes so far. Anubarak, I'm really excited to see his model.
That's pretty cool.
I want to run around as Anubarak.
I'm stoked.
Asmodan, hell yes.
Okay.
Blade Master.
Quite literally, hell yes.
Butcher.
Which every one of Butcher's lines is something about meat. Kills an angel meat. Nephilim meat. Demon meat. Kills a robot creature, it says here. What? No meat? Raw.
I feel like Butcher, he throws hooks on chains. We already have Stitches. How are they going to... Yeah. I'm very curious to see how they're going to make him differ.
Stitches is kind of a big butcher. Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Surprised they didn't just do like a butcher skin for Stitches. Oh, maybe this is. We don't know. Chen Stormstout, we kind of figured that since he's on the landing page when you load into the game.
Yeah, this is very new.
Cho'Gall, Deathwing, who I really want to see.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Cho'Gall's interesting. That's not...
I don't even remember who Cho'Gall is.
He's the two-headed ogre.
Yeah, the big ogre. What instance is he in?
Oh, he was in a Cataclysm where I gave up on the game for a while. I never did those raids.
He's a Twilight dude. I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, would he have any...
Chat room knows, I'm sure already.
Would he have any reason to be back in time and the new expansion coming out? Like, is he going to have a bigger role?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
That'd be a question for Terpster, I think.
Yeah, Terpster would know that. Yeah.
Kyle, you're going to be excited about this one. Dahaka.
Oh, dude. I'm looking forward to the Primal Zerg.
Bastion of Twilight. That's the one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kael'thas. I'm looking forward to Kael'thas. Mayev. Big Mayev fan. Mechatork. Hopefully he's better than he is in Hearthstone.
He'll probably be kind of quirky and weird, I'm sure. I mean...
Yeah. I can't wait to have this is the kind of game where I will get excited about a gnome. Because this game, like, I mean, Heroes obviously fully embraces humor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Rexar.
Probably support.
Yeah, I would think.
And I would assume Rexar is going to be a specialist, with summoning beasts, Stampede.
Yeah, I could also just see him being an assassin, depending on how they kind of tune him.
He could be an assassin too, but I think Rexar's going to be all about the beasts. Going to have some Misha going on and stuff like that, so that'll be kind of cool.
They're just going to do the whole Hearthstone thing. He's going to lay traps. You hit ice traps. You get returned to the opening of the game. You have to reselect your hero.
Cost more mana all of a sudden. Yeah,
real mess.
Here's why they had to change the name in Dota. Skeleton King has been data mined.
Yep.
Well, but Skeleton King, yeah, he should be in there, right? I mean, that's
absolutely
that's a big deal in Diablo.
Yeah. Sylvanas, who I cannot wait for. I need my Elven Archer damage dealer. Thrall, Varian, and Zul'jin. So
okay.
A whole bunch of Warcraft leaders there at the end. Garrosh obviously has to come in at some point.
Yeah, no, we'll get Garrosh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters where it's like, okay, we know we're gonna get this guy at some point. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
But all this stuff makes sense. I mean, these are a lot of good names here,
I agree with the chat room. I want to see Deckard Cain.
Yeah. He's coming.
He has a machine gun that fires satchels. That's why there's so many satchels hanging around Sanctuary.
It's like Abathur. He just leaves them places and they go off when you step on them.
Like, I'm assuming we're gonna see all of the characters from like we'll probably see Leah and stuff too, right? And
I want
her crazy mom.
I want Imperius.
Okay,
that's who I want to frickin' play. I want to run around as Imperius.
All right, I'm in.
It'd be so sweet. Like to get Tyrion Fordring in there with Ashbringer. Hell yeah.
Now there are quite a few others in this list, but these are the big ones that actually have lines that they then say. There are other characters that people have data mined where a character that's already in the game says something to them. Like Brightwing has a file in the game right now where it's
a she. It's a girl.
Where she kills Deathwing and says, that's what you get for causing the cataclysm. But that's all we have on Deathwing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. I remember them. I forget where I was reading this thing. It was a developer interview right after they added Leadley and Brightwing, and they were kind of talking about those heroes, but they were talking about the trials and tribulations of adding new heroes to the game. And they said that one of the biggest challenges right now is they really want to see Deathwing in the game, but it's a scale issue. I'm just like, but he has a human form. His alt can be his dragon form. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. But he'll just be I think a flying dragon, which you've already seen in other games. Right, so
you're right.
Oh, he doesn't need to be massive. He could just
but he still needs to look imposing to a point, or he doesn't feel like Deathwing. And that's why I think apparently it doesn't sound like they're going for the human mode route if they're having an issue with scale. But that was how I thought he was going to go.
They talked about this
sense.
Like 2 BlizzCons ago, but they were having a problem. Well, basically, they were talking about Warcraft 3 and how if you got Thrall off of his horse, how ridiculously tiny of a model he was when compared standing next to someone like Arthas, who isn't sitting on a horse when he's just a paladin. So they made the horse mount, getting rid of boots and sort of that MOBA kind of scene thing at the same time. But the mounts allow them to have an equal size to something larger. So now something that's like Siege Tank, where it immediately, his mount is he pops little rockets out and goes faster, or she. That means we can have a larger Deathwing without really messing with that formula.
Right. Obviously, it can't be too big, or body blocking just becomes ridiculous. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, we have scaled differences in the game as it is. So I'm curious. Obviously, Deathwing sounds like a badass hero. Want to see what they do with him.
Anybody on here that or anybody not on here that you wish you could get, like that we haven't heard about yet?
I already talked about some of the ones I want.
Have we heard about Vol'jin yet? Has that been a thing? I haven't.
Vol'jin. No.
No.
Zul'jin's mentioned, but not Vol'jin.
Yeah. All right.
Imperius, I think, is the top of my list because he's just such a badass looking dude.
Okay.
It's a great design. What about you, Dills?
Vol'jin.
Vol'jin, done.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Manx.
Oh, I would love to see Manx. His ult.
I want the ult like you hide, like almost like the Abathur mine, like you hide the Zelnaga artifact somewhere, and then someone steps on top of you, you hit the button, the thing just pops up and just shocks the hell out of them.
Imagine if it's an AoE stun.
Exactly.
That would be amazing. I want to see it. Make it happen. Make it happen, Blizzard. I need that southern drawl infesting all my games. That'd be so good.
I could see like Magtheridon too and stuff like that. I would like to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Getting a Pit Lord in there.
Yeah. That's sweet.
They're not going to run out of things to add.
Yeah, they'll never run out at this point.
Anytime soon.
Never going to run out. Yeah.
So I do hope, I mean, I'm excited for Deathwing, of course. I think everyone is. I hope they do sort of like they have with, not Gat, who's the, I'm forgetting his name, the goblin with the backpack.
Oh, crap. Yeah, the like engineering type dude.
Gazlo.
Yes. Yeah.
When Gazlo kills units, they drop little screws, and then he can use them to get a little bit of mana back. I'm hoping when you kill units as Deathwing, they drop little pieces of metal that then like build on top of you.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you get like armored up.
Exactly.
That could be pretty sweet. Yeah. When people attack you, it could actually like pop armor off your back too.
Yeah.
Like slowly, like you lose armor before you lose your health. That could be pretty sweet. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff they could do with him. I mean, there's so much lore steeped around that guy. I wonder what they're gonna do for ulti though. Like Deathwing kills everybody. Deathwing kills everybody on the map. Boom.
The cataclysm.
Yeah.
It just sets the whole map on fire. You have to run back to your fountain.
Yeah.
Everyone has to kill the little tendrils waving around before they can kill him.
Oh man, that'd be so ridiculous. Now you're making me think of like all the ridiculous boss fights in WoW that I want to see as playable characters and in heroes, and how you could add really kind of game breaking mechanics. Like Yogg-Saron, man. Like you just have to go into the hero and fight some stuff before you can kill
inside
him.
of his brain and then you can kill him.
Yeah, that'd be great, right? That wouldn't totally break the game in any way, shape, or form.
If they put the old gods in, that would be really strange. Like I just don't know how that could work. But all right, let's see it.
All right, so that's it for now on the Dead of Mine Jazz. Let's talk about this tournament that happened over the past week. To my knowledge, there's no like definitive VODs available anywhere because obviously there's no observer mode, so this wasn't like broadcasted anywhere. Some of the team's players streamed themselves playing in the tournament, so you can see some of those. I know our buddy D-Day, who we play with sometimes, actually streams some of his games. But the more interesting thing that came out of this tournament, I think, is like the ban list. Who got banned the most and who was picked the most.
So they ran this tournament with a ban list, huh?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
You were not allowed to have a mirror matchup, so only one hero could be on the map at a time. Like both teams couldn't have a Raynor, for example. Yeah. And then they basically did like a draft mode. They made their own.
Yeah. So the way it works, because I've never actually done this in like League or whatever, you pick one hero to ban and then you pick one hero to play, right? Each person. Is that how that works?
Exactly. So team one first picks someone to ban, and then team two picks someone to ban, and then both teams make their pick, and then we go back and forth and back and forth.
Right.
Okay. And then after all the bans are done, then it's time to pick your heroes to play. Right?
No, you ban, then you pick, then you ban, then you pick.
Okay. All right.
So you can make more informed decisions as you see their team comp start collecting.
Okay.
This is we're coming up hot on the International Forest, coming up in July. You should watch that, Dills, because it's awesome.
Of course.
And the draft stages in Dota are really interesting to watch.
Yeah. Do you think that this is the way that Blizzard will end up going, or do you think they're going to come up with something else?
I hope it's the way they get going.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the way it is now works fine for the alpha because they just want to get people in playing and trying out heroes. But I want to make informed decisions.
Sure.
And from a caster standpoint, and esport watching it, it's really interesting to watch the ban and pick go back and forth watching something like the International, it sort of has a slowdown right after it because the nature of that game. It's a lot like StarCraft, where it's like, and here's the players, let's go. 6 minutes of downtime as they build everything up, or they get enough XP to make something happen. Heroes is going to be really cool in that way. So you're going to have the bans and whoa, wow, they picked that because they know the other team has an awesome Raynor or whatever. Right. And, they picked that knowing that's going to counter what they go for. And then we're going to dive straight into it, and it's just going to really keep that action going.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, slow kind of workup for it.
It's good because if you know a lot about the game, it's interesting because you know why they're making the picks that they're making. If you don't know a lot about the game, it's a really good introduction to the game you're about to watch because the casters are sitting there telling you exactly why that was a good or a bad pick.
Sure.
So it's this weird kind of it makes a good, just from a spectator standpoint, a natural introduction to spectating.
Now, does this stuff ever dissuade the company from actually balancing heroes because they know the ban phase will just take care of that, or is it still we want all the heroes to be actually balanced? Because it would seem this guy's always OP, but it's fine because he just gets banned.
I would disagree with that. I mean, all the MOBAs out there right now are still being balanced to this day. Dota just had a big balance patch.
Okay, all right,
right. But the very first balance or the very first ban is often one out of respect or reverence or fear. It's not really what's
the first ban is kind of a big deal, right? Because
and it's usually just we know the other team has that guy who plays this guy amazing, and it really has nothing to do with the meta.
Sure.
Which makes me wonder how we saw so many alchemists at last year's International.
He wasn't a big deal before that. Same with Furion or Nature's Prophet.
Also Wisp. Yeah. Wisp was kind of dominating too.
Yeah.
It's not a Dota show. So anyway, this tournament, looking at the ban list was really interesting. Apparently, the most feared, the most hated hero in Heroes of the Storm at the moment is Raynor.
Yeah. Raynor and Kerrigan, way above everybody else.
Yeah. Raynor and Kerrigan. Yeah. So Raynor was...
I think as interesting as Tassadar so highly picked, yet never banned.
Yep.
It's right in that sweet spot then,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everyone wanted him. No one wanted to get rid of him.
Everybody wanted to play as Tassadar. Yeah.
It was so Raynor was picked, only got into the game 6 times. He was banned 19 times.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, the next highest ban was Kerrigan, who was banned 12 times and also picked 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, I think we talked about Kerrigan last week, that kind of self-shielding she does when she's whacking on someone, and it's scary. We played a game earlier this week. I think it was with you, Kyle. We were against a Kerrigan, and the other team also had a Brightwing and a Tassadar. So Kerrigan was getting triple shielded because she had her own shield, plus the Brightwing shield, plus the Tassadar shield.
Wow.
Right. Well, and that Kerrigan was also being played by LZ Gamer. So it was...
yes,
that's
a very good point. Our good old buddy from StarCast. LZ Gamer's ex StarCraft 2 pro, and his team actually played in this tournament.
Yeah, I see that.
We went up against his team earlier this week and got our butts handed to us.
Tasteless team. Tasteless was on that team, and ECOP. So
yep,
that.
Yep.
I wish I'd been able to actually get around to doing something like this. This looks really fun.
Yeah,
and it's the first time it's ever happened, so it's who cares how you do? You just go into play.
Well, exactly. I don't think there was any money or anything up for grabs. It was just kind of just hey, let's get some high caliber players together and see what shakes out. And that's why this is so interesting because we talk so much about the meta in Hearthstone and StarCraft and even WoW. there's not one for this game yet. So it was interesting to
Not
see
currently.
what some pro players are doing.
I mean, there's a semi-meta developing at this moment, but it's not fully functioning yet. Like you still don't really know what's going to happen game to game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's like the Wild West. It's kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you're like, whoa, I never even thought of doing that, and then it totally worked for the other team. And then the next time you go in, you're like, why don't we do that?
It's like Kyle at the beginning of the show saying, by the way, that the caster creeps are the only one that drop health globes. I'm like, oh, okay. I love
What?
learning that stuff because so many of the games I play, I've been playing for so long that there's no discovery anymore. So it's a lot of fun at this entry level. So they also got a nice pie chart showing like which roles were selected the most, and assassin was obvious, which makes sense. There's going to be generally more assassins in a team composition anyway. At 44%, next largest was support at 33%, warrior at 15%, and specialist at 7%. Expected. That's a little less interesting.
I don't expect anything else from pro players either. I mean, the way their minds work, I feel like it's just dump the damage on. And you see the same. I mean, look how Hearthstone has evolved too. Like going straight for the face is kind of the way people win tournaments right now.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like tournament play is more control-y in Hearthstone, but it's always been a viable strategy to go super aggro. And it's becoming even more like, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Rogue decks, but holy crap.
I have not.
Okay. I gotta show you this list. It's insane.
I know what we're talking about as soon as I'm back from my vacation.
Yep.
But for a game
you're gonna have
that's
to catch up on like a week of meta that's like passed you by.
For a game that's just getting going, I mean, dumping on damage, always a solid way to go.
Sure.
I would love to see a team that's doing like 3 warriors, a support, and maybe no assassins, and just like dancing it and just like making everything solid decisions 24/7. But you know what? It's just easier for everything. Like Kerrigan to leap on top, and then someone else comes running in. Just
Yeah. Well, but I have started to see like some people put together the comps where this guy has a stun and then this guy has a big AOE, so we combine those two together and we get the damage done that we need and win these team fights. But yeah, I would like to see like some sort of strategy based around like we just continue to take merc camps because we're all soloing them at early levels because we're so we just can't be killed.
Our buddy D-Day, who played in this tournament earlier this week, we were playing some games with D-Day on our team, and we went up against his team.
Oh yeah, that's right, and they destroyed us.
And they run this combo where they have a guy playing Stitches, they got a guy playing Uther, and they just follow each other around. And Stitches hooks, Uther stuns, and that person is friggin' dead.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot like 2 weeks ago. I mean, Dills, when we were playing our games, like we went for every area effect there was in a small. So I'd freeze his Arthas, you'd slam down the Malfurion grab, and just like everything was just piled in this little tiny ball. Yeah. But anyone who was stuck in that was just dead.
It's like that guy. It's done for that guy. Yeah. But it's like I'm starting to see some of this stuff work, and I don't know have you guys seen the video of the Stitches pulling people into the little lanes like at the top and bottom? There's that one little section. I think it's on the tributes map.
No, I haven't.
There's like
seen
a little
it.
section with like a little U cut out, and there's like you can kind of get stuck in there. You put a guy on either side, and then Stitches pulls them into the middle, and then like they get their body blocked on both sides, and then they just like kill the guy in the middle. Yeah,
that's a problem.
Epic.
That needs to be fixed.
It's pretty cool though. I don't know.
It's cool that someone figured it out.
Away,
it's cool that someone figured it out, but do something about that.
But if you see them hanging out in there, just stay the hell away. Like, don't go over there.
Well,
because you might get pulled in.
I mean, that's just a general MOBA tip there. Don't ever stand still. Like, and if you were auto attacking, you should probably stutter a little bit between each auto attack. So a nice hook doesn't come your way.
Yep.
This is stuff that I'm like slowly figuring out from playing that it doesn't come natural as a new player. Like, oh, I shouldn't just stand here and auto attack. Really? And then you start to realize like, okay, I got to be like moving around, stop, shoot, move around, stop, shoot. And it becomes more natural as you go on. But I was horrible at all of the character movements for the longest time. And still probably am.
Now you've been making strides in how well you are at these types of games. But that's because you're you, and I know how you play games.
Yeah, I don't like to lose. I don't rage about it. But I don't like to lose.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. See, D-Day agrees with me. I got in games with D-Day, and he's like, I get it, dude. Who the hell wants to lose? Dills is full of crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blizzard actually posted talking about the tournaments going on. And they said, with the release of custom games feature for the Heroes of the Storm Alpha, we know some of you are already chomping at the bit to set up epic matches and tournaments, but we would like to remind you that we're still in an alpha testing phase. During this stage of development, we're constantly making balance changes and adjusting our technology. Since Observer Mode is not available during this patch, we will be asking all partners to refrain from hosting live events and tournaments with prizes. Once we're in a place where we're ready to evaluate tournaments, we will open up opportunities for our partners to run official events and provide additional feedback to the development team. We still want to encourage players to set up custom competitive matches, so feel free to set up some custom games with your friends and rivals. Please also note, however, that the abilities, talents, heroes, and more may change at any time during the alpha.
And they got rid of custom games.
They did,
Yeah.
but they didn't
I
say
know.
specifically in here that that's why they did it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it is.
And at the end, they say, please play with your friends. And then it's like, but I can't now.
Yeah.
Well, I can play with them. I can't play against them. At least not on purpose.
There's probably just some sort of change they're making that requires like some back end push or something. I don't think this is a big deal. We'll probably get them back next week, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't see what the big deal is. This is really interesting to me. I like looking at this kind of stuff, if for no other reason than to just see the numbers. So
Yeah.
Right,
They just really don't want people getting cash prizes in a tournament in an alpha game, right? Because game's not really balanced.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't.
Well, and also look at the matches that they put out themselves. They're very interesting. They're awful gentlemanly. The lanes are well divided. It's not 5 people piled on top of each other with a single goal to get every stun there is in the game and just make it look lame. And they don't want that sort of advertising right now.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. They want to get the game right before people are starting to do big tournaments. And same thing happened with Hearthstone too. I mean, people were already like doing tournaments. It was still beta. People were doing tournaments where there's fairly decent money involved, and it's just tough when you're Blizzard and you're like,
And it's still a pain in the ass to do
I
a
don't
tournament
want
for
this.
Hearthstone.
No, I know it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
But they want the product to be correct before it starts getting advertised as a big deal.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyways, congrats to Saya Steve, who put on this tournament. It sounds like it went off pretty damn well. I'm super impressed with all of the statistics he was able to put together, because there ain't none of this crap in the game right now. He had to do this himself. And as someone who has a deep-seated fear of math, I respect him. So good on him. I hope he does more of these once custom games are re-enabled. Let's get into our strategy segment for this week. As we kind of started to tread already on it earlier, we want to talk about ignoring map objectives. So to reiterate, in Heroes of the Storm, there is more than one map, and all of the maps have some type of objective that can be used as an alternative way to win, other than just doing team fights and pushing on your opponent's core. Which, when the hell did they change the name to the core? It used to be called the Palace, and the announcer still says your palace is under attack, but it says core when you click on it, and it's confusing me.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just going to put
calling
that
it
out there.
Palace for now. Yeah.
The Ancient.
The Ancient. Kill their thing. With what?
Yeah.
With
Kill
your
the
stuff.
thing, the main thing, the big thing.
And every single one's got a giant crystal in it. Was that a reward? We got the crystal, everybody. Cash in.
Anyway, so ignoring objectives. So we've got, so if we're talking about ignoring objectives, probably the best example, and definitely the most egregious example of winning with mercs, is Haunted Mines.
Oh yeah.
This is the map where you can go down to the mines, kill minions, kill a golem, collect skulls, and then 2 golems raise on either side of the map. The one of the team that collected the more skulls is a more powerful golem, and it charges down either the top or bottom lane and starts beating the crap out of everything. The past week, we've noticed a trend. One team will just decide, we are not going into the mines.
Yep.
We're going to run around and grab all of the merc camps, and we're going to win.
Yeah.
And
And you do it like a little bit before the mines open up, right? Like you start
yeah.
a little before, and then all of a sudden the whole other team is down there. and no one's defending, and the mercs are going crazy.
And there's mercs at your wall, backed up by heroes, possibly even split pushing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of came out of nowhere. Definitely got my butt kicked by it a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then we honestly we had a few games where the opposing team did that. This was later on after we kind of figured out what was going on, and we still went down into the mines, but we just like waited until we saw something on the radar. Then we had like 2 people hearth back to defend, and then we would get the golem, and that actually worked. But you're walking a thin line.
I feel like what you really want to do on that map is start getting merc camps, like when you know you're going to have about a minute to the mines. You grab a couple, then you send a few people down, and you test the waters, and then you make your decision on what you do, what you're doing.
Yeah, and stealthies are particularly great because they're a little safer.
You like react basically to what the other team decides is going to be their strategy. But it's clearly not what Blizzard wants, right? Like we can all agree that I think Blizzard wants the objectives to be the most important thing in every game.
It seems to be their intention. I mean, obviously they're making a big deal out of it. Otherwise, why have multiple maps?
Yeah. And why have these objectives be so different and so like pretty much they're all really good. It's just this one thing that's this golem is like a single thing that can kind of be dealt with.
Dragon.
The other ones.
Dragon Knight's a single thing that can be dealt with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Curse, on the other hand, not so much. And the ship on the pirate level, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
if they handed enough doubloons, you just duck and run.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of the other maps are, pretty solid. Coins, you are going to lose if they keep giving coins. It is a straight up lose scenario. But something about the haunted mines right now is just causing people to go, first one, we can do more damage than your golem can at 100 skulls if we just push you entirely.
Yeah. Well, there's also only 2 lanes, so there's less forts, really, right? I mean,
true.
It's a little easier to push down 2 lanes than it would be to push down 3 lanes. And you don't necessarily have to push down 3 lanes to get in and kill the palace core thing, but to have one less lane actually just means the defenses are a little easier to get through. So it could be why that one map is tending to be the one where people ignore it.
Yeah.
Now on something like Cursed Hollow, where you're going to get the little tributes, you need 3 tributes to kind of set off the curse that makes all the buildings stop attacking. All their creeps have 1 health. The very first one that pops up, I mean, that is a really volatile point in the game. Yeah. And if you run in there, all 5 of you grouping up, and someone just drops a bomb on everyone, you could put yourself 2 levels behind right from the get-go, and they have the first tribute. So
another popular thing that we've been seeing is ignoring the first tribute.
In favor of
staying in
XP.
lane. Yeah, keep everyone in the 3 lanes so that all 3 creep waves are getting killed off and everyone's getting experience. And it seems to be working wonderfully, especially when the other team isn't. Yeah, especially when the other team isn't privy to this. And send, since there's 5 of you, you can send 2 people to just piss off the other team who's trying to get the tribute to make it look like you're at least trying. And to keep them off it for as long a time, because the longer you can keep them off the tribute, the longer you can stay in lane while they were out of lane, the level disparity will be even worse.
Yeah. But this one, to me, makes the most sense, and I think it actually isn't something that Blizzard needs to do anything about. I think this is just a strategy here. Like, okay, when we do go for the second one, we're stronger and we can engage a 5v5, with an advantage. So this one just makes sense to me. And it doesn't make or break the game necessarily. It's just an incremental, like you can really only get like maybe a 1 level advantage by doing this, right? I mean, I haven't seen somebody have like 3 levels on them by the second tribute,
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like you're not doing what's supposed to be done. Whereas the golem one feels like you're not playing the game. Like you're not playing the game that you're supposed to be playing. So this is just like strategic, I think, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be, it's a really interesting balancing act right now. Eventually, I feel like we may even find, 2 people kind of taking care of these things and warring it out while people are dedicated to the lanes, because that XP is just so powerful.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that as a potential meta strategy for oh my god, what's that map called?
What, the tributes?
Yeah, the tributes.
Cursed Hollow?
Cursed Hollow. There you go.
Yeah. But if that is the strategy, then some team will recognize that that's the strategy, and they'll send 3 people. And it's one of those things, like, you don't really know what the correct strategy is at any point. And I really like that about that map. It's like, should we send? Because sometimes you'll go, okay, we all need to get to this tribute, and then one guy like doesn't get there very quickly, and you like 4 of you get wiped out because all 5 of them are there.
Right.
So it's to me, it's a very fluid map, and like you can gain and regain and lose advantage really quickly based on what happened around one tribute spawning.
And that's how I feel about Dragon Shrine as well. That dragon is so powerful, is pretty much guaranteed a fort in his very first push, which is a fort is an automatic level up jump for that team. So those 2 spots are just king of the hill, hotly contested. If you do lose both of them, people are crowding around the middle trying to make sure that doesn't go off, and it's got a great flow to it. Same with the coins, but just for some reason this week, and I think it has a lot to do with this tournament too, just everyone going for mercenaries the second those mines open, kind of hoping that the other team invests too much in the mines.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, do you guys feel like that's the only one where it really feels like it's kind of breaking the game? Like, and the other,
it's definitely the most. I really think it is the most egregious example.
Yeah.
I also have, like, it's personally my least favorite map. Just in general, I don't like the 2 maps and dividing attention, and I don't know. It like gives me ulcers thinking about that map. But
well, and if you break it down to its essentials, what you have is, with the mines, that is different than all the other maps. You have an extremely long walk to the main objective, which is the golem, who has the most skulls. Granted, in the beginning he doesn't have as many, but a long walk to him, and he can't be soloed. So if the whole team's upstairs and you need 4 people to defend, no one's going to be able to go down there and take him down by himself.
Yeah.
In all the other maps, one person can get the shrine. One person can get the coins or the hollow.
Yeah, it's very true. And the other thing too is that the way it's set up with both entrances being on the left side, it's very strange. You go in there and then you get all the way to the other end, and then you're like, I have no way out other than hearthing. Like, I almost feel like it'd be better if the entrances were on opposite sides, and you kind of met in the middle. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Be interesting to like put the golem in the middle.
Yeah, you put the golem in the middle, and it's like each team kind of has an entrance like closer to them, so you generally end up splitting the golem. Like, they're fairly close because you start on your side, type of thing. It would just take away the like 100 to zeros and stuff like that,
right?
And also it'd give you a way to get out.
I like
sometimes you get all the way on the other side,
because you have that sort of battle as you get to the golem. The problem with kind of 2 sides of it is, if someone kills the golem, he explodes in skulls, and they are sitting on the ground. So if someone just boosts in there, or an invisible Nova just kind of walks through, you can snipe everyone's skulls that they just worked for.
Yeah, and you can do that now. I mean, I've done it, and it's demoralizing.
I've died, but it's worth it.
Totally, yeah. You grab like 12 or 20 or something like that right away. So I don't know. I just feel like there could be some sort of tweak done to that map, that without really changing like the health of the golem or whatever it is, like some sort of tweak to it that makes it so that this skipping the objective strategy doesn't work quite as well.
And
I'm not sure what that is.
Earlier, Dills, it could just be as easy as lowering how powerful those mercenaries are.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in the mines, that's what you're doing. That's how you're pushing so powerful.
It's true. I mean, I don't think buffing the golem necessarily makes sense, because I think the mercs are a little bit of an issue in every single map. I think you slightly tune those down a little bit, and suddenly it's more about the fighting and less about just running around getting merc camps. Which right now, it's like, you see that happening, and it's like we've been playing some games where like what happens is that snowballs more than anything else. Like the opposing team or your team, whoever decides to go start getting merc camps, they start getting them, and then now you're spending all your time dealing with mercs that are pushing on your door and not getting mercs, and they just continue to get mercs and continue to get mercs, and you can just never get caught up, So like the whole game, you're not really playing. You're not team fighting. You're not doing anything. You're just dealing with mercs, and it's not that fun, honestly, to just be constantly trying to kill mercs. Like, I want to fight, I want to fight the other team.
Okay, I'll give you that. I mean, I haven't really seen that happen on any other map.
Well, that was happening in the pirate map when we were playing against D-Day's team. They were just on every single merc camp before we ever could, and it just was extremely frustrating. Like, I want to do stuff, but I got to run back and kill these mercs.
Well, the argument is that it's an even fight. I mean, you could do the same.
You could, but what I'm saying is once they start, if they take the initiative and do it first, then you don't get a chance to because you're constantly killing mercs that have already been gotten. Well, they've moved on to the next merc camp. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that snowball and the map control power that the mercs give that's so powerful.
Yeah, otherwise you ignore mercs, get your own mercs, and then their mercs are knocking down your door while your mercs are a little behind. It's almost like I mean, I keep bringing up Hearthstone. You'll bring up Dota, I'll bring up Hearthstone. That's how this will work. Like in Hearthstone, if I go first and it's a mirror matchup, even like the coin doesn't swing things back in the same way. I'm always the first one playing a creature, so my creature gets to attack first. It gets to decide what to do. And the whole game, you clear my creatures, and I just put more creatures down. Then you clear them, and I put more creatures down. And basically, like, I always have the initiative, and this is why going first wins more often, because I'm always the one choosing where to attack and what to do with my guys. That's basically what happens here. But it just that feels more snowbally than like losing a single team fight. And to me, it just feels like that's less fun. Like, you lose the team fights, okay, we got to get them next time. But this is just like, all I'm doing is killing mercs. I'm not even killing other people. And it's not as fun.
Yeah. Well, if your team is coordinated too, you can track them down, find them while they're beating on mercs and kick their ass.
True.
So what it boils down to is like, if you can, if you notice it start to happen, you should be like, okay, we need to kill these incoming mercs, and we need to immediately get to the next most logical camp that they will be at, and we need to cut the head off the snake.
No, I'm not saying that it's not a strategy that can be dealt with, that there's not like a counter to this. But I'm saying that in the current state of it, it feels like they might just be a little too powerful, where that is more important than the rest of it. Like, that one thing is actually more important than the rest of the game.
All right. I guess I don't know. It's still so early. It's hard for me to...
No, I agree. And there's a lot they could do that's just not nerfing mercs. I mean, making the size of the watchtowers more powerful. Or, in the Haunted Mines, everyone can see the little purple mini-map marks getting killed off. If you could see that someone is actively at a merc camp right now, maybe
true.
that...
Right now, you have no idea. Like, you just know, they got it. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, incoming.
Do we...
And people aren't... it's a new game. When people see mercs incoming and it's not coming from the knights, people think, it's just a couple. They'll die easy, those damn
siege giants.
Yeah, but they do a lot. They get a lot of pushing done.
Yeah. No, it's true. I just feel like this is the part of the game. This is the alpha phase where if they're going to make a decision like this, they're going to make it now, and we'll see what they end up doing. But I would like the game to be about more than merc camps, and right now it feels like it's just so much about merc camps. And I love the merc camp idea. I just don't want it to be the end-all, be-all of who won the game, like who ended up getting more mercs. And there's some maps right now where it just feels like that's what won the game.
Right.
And, like, you get to the end, you're like, oh, we lost because we didn't get merc camps. Okay.
But I really just feel it's the swing of things right now. Like, when the game first opened up, what do we want to do? We want to get in the middle and just beat the crap out of each other. And then
I'm Diablo, so I'm going right in. Yeah.
And then they went, ooh, objectives. That's how we win. And now we've swung to mercs are how you win. So it'll even out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the state of the game will constantly flux, and this is where we're at right now. But we'll see. See what they do.
All right. Well, continuing on with our hero spotlight from last week, this week we figured with looking at the most recent tournaments, or the only tournament so far, results, that we should talk a little about Raynor. He got a bit of a nerf this week, and talk about maybe why he's at the top of the ban list, why he's popular. Because a lot of us, now I'm going to make the Hearthstone reference, much like Hearthstone. You get in, you play the mage. You're like, oh, the mage isn't that good, which now is kind of true. But back in the day, when it was new, and before a couple nerfs, mage was actually kind of the hot shit on the block. Yeah. And even though it was what the game introduced you with, it was actually a pretty damn good class to play. And that's kind of how I feel like everyone's thoughts on Raynor were, at least for a while, which was like, well, this is the guy they teach me how to play. And honestly, he is pretty easy to play. I wouldn't say he's like Lily easy, where you just hit buttons and stuff happens, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Right. And then this past week, Blizzard announced that Raynor they're going to try it out this week. Raynor might always be free so that people going through that initial tutorial can just enter the game with the character they just practiced with.
Which honestly, I think makes a whole lot of sense, because it was so confusing when I was teaching Katie how to play, my girlfriend. And we get to practice mode, and I'm just like, and she's like, why can't I play the guy? I just freaking, what the hell? I'm just like,
that's a good point.
Kind of an oversight.
Yeah. Well, what if they did something where they just allowed you to pick from, because like a lot of times you play a game, at the beginning you can pick from like one or two characters. What if they just gave you like two? I feel like I would like it to have a choice. I don't know. This is the same thing with Hearthstone. Like you come in and you're like, okay, I'm a mage. Cool. Got to be a mage. But like I was really turned off by that. I didn't want to be a mage at all. And like what if they gave you like one of each archetype and you could decide which one you want to go through and play the tutorial, and then that one is free to you forever.
That would actually be kind of fun if you got in the game and they immediately went, which franchise is your favorite? And so you got to pick, one of the three, and it'd offer you up,
But I mean, to gift you one dude. Here's your dude. You got this one. Congratulations. Like, just to get you in there and feel excited about the game. I think it would be a good way to go about this. And
you do have the practice mode, and you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to win this game. When the next wipe happens, I'm not getting Abathur from the beginning. It's not happening. He's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a mines guy. I've never been like, I am assuming in 2 minutes that someone will set foot here and I will kill them. I've just never had a mind for that. So I've just been playing a ton of Witch Doctor this past week. And just loving it.
Sweet.
I'm so happy to hear this.
you're like, man,
I'm so glad.
Get good at this one.
I'm so glad I don't need to play with Abathur anymore.
It still might happen for the double, triple taps because that's just too fun. But otherwise, nah.
Yeah. I just would really like to see, you having a choice at the beginning, because a lot of people at this point in gaming have some sort of archetype that they prefer that they've played in the past in other types of games. So I like to play tanky guys. I like to play long range assassin type guys. I like to play whatever, melee assassin guys, support guys. If you could just choose that at the beginning and then go, and then you just get gifted that character.
I don't think they'll do that for the tutorial itself, because that's a lot of voice acting.
Yeah. You really only have Uther, and then you have the other people, and it doesn't really, you don't need your Kai to say stuff back, honestly. You just have Uther say stuff, and it's cool.
I see what you're saying, though. Maybe the practice mode right now, you go to the shop, you think, ooh, I've always really liked Demon Hunter. You click on her, then you load into a game. It'd be neat if there was practice mode sort of tree, so you can go, I want to play assassins, and every single assassin's preloaded, and you're just kind of switching between them and just get a general feel for the whole class.
Yeah, I think when you get given something right away, because when you play a game and then you get okay, here's the rotation, and what you said about Katie playing and then being like, wait, I can't play him anymore, and but then they give only this guy. It's the same thing with Mage. Then we just end up with this oh, it's Raynor. It's probably a new player. I would just like that taken away, and I am fully aware that this is probably not what's going to happen. But if I could do it from non money making guy just who wants to play the game and everyone have fun, then I would say let's do it this way. That would be just from a fan's perspective. So, just an idea.
Okay,
throwing it out there.
All right. Well, for the time being, at least, it looks like they're gifting you one of the best damn heroes in the game.
Yeah. Well, recently nerfed though, so maybe not.
Raynor, yeah, I don't know. Looking at it, I'm like, I don't think this is enough. He's still pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, let's taking a look at Raynor. If you go and look, we got a Heroes Nexus link here, but you can go to the official site or wherever. Looking at his abilities, he's got his penetrating round for his Q ability. It hits everything in a straight line, does a bunch of damage and knockback. It's a good skill shot. But really, the thing, at least for the two things, I don't know, the three things that make him badass. There's so many things that are awesome. Inspire, which is that buff we were talking about earlier. It's the W ability. It gives himself a 20% bonus attack speed buff. And also damage. Is it for eight? It's for 8 seconds.
Well, now it's 5, right? Or is it something else?
No,
that
the duration never changed. It's the
Okay.
cooldown is now longer.
Well, but there was a duration of something else that got changed. What was that?
Oh no, it was this.
Well, it was one of the talents. It
Art
wasn't
of
this.
War. Art of War.
It was Art of War, which is a
It's
level
a debuff.
It's a level 13 talent that augments Inspire. Well, not augments it, but adds on to Inspire. That when nearby enemies when they're near you and you have Inspire going, that they get a 10% attack speed. Attack speed.
Attack and move speed.
Attack and move speed. So basically the opposite of what Raynor's giving friendlies.
Yeah. So you're debuffing the enemies around you when you do this. So you buff yourself and you debuff the enemies. Pretty good.
Right, exactly. That specific talent was nerfed, not Inspire. Now Inspire was also nerfed because the cooldown is now longer, but nonetheless, really good move. The Revolution Overdrive talent at level 7, which it gives Raynor 10% movement speed while casting Inspire, plus 5% additional move speed for each ally hero initially inspired, which can just be ridiculous. Even if there's no one around you, moving 10% faster for 8 seconds is great.
Yep.
It's really freaking good.
Right, and if you're coming from other MOBAs, like every single hero in this game has the exact same movement speed. So any movement speed change for any hero is huge.
Right. Brightwing's shield, it does a 25%. You're keeping up with mounted people, and it's very noticeable. But yeah, so that's one of reason number 1. Our Raynor is awesome. Inspire is good.
Yep.
Reason number 2, Adrenaline Rush. It can be made the E ability, but it starts off just as something just happens passively. It automatically activates and heals Raynor for 960, 200 plus 400 per level, basically, whenever he's below 30% health. So are you about to die? Guess what? You're not dying. And you don't even have to do anything. He instantly pops this damn thing, and he's healed. It can only occur every 45 seconds, though. So, if
that's fine. That's plenty.
Right, as it should.
Yeah.
Because otherwise this would be ridiculous.
But that's, the thing about that is that, normally you have to be, if you're like an assassin character, you have to be with a healer. And you don't really have to be with a healer if you're Raynor.
No, Raynor's really...
I'll just run up by myself, dude. It's cool.
It makes him a really good roamer. He can be the guy going between lanes looking to gank.
To put that in perspective, too, you're healing 960 health. Your starting health in this game is 725. You're not dying while this is going off.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening. And then finally, the reason, at least I think, I'm gonna put this on the table. Hyperion makes him awesome. Never choose Raynor's Raiders.
Yeah. See, the thing about the Hyperion though is it's really easy to see it and get the hell out of it.
Yes.
And the Raynor's Raiders are cloaked. You don't know that's happening until they're hitting you.
Well, you can kind of see them, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you understand that's going on, but it's like you could walk into it unbeknownst to you a little easier than Hyperion. I don't know, I haven't theory crafted the damage of each of these things, but I know this. Hyperion takes an entire lane up. It's that wide.
Yeah.
So
the thing, I feel like Raynor's Raiders is probably better for just hero fights, like you're fighting a team or you're fighting one dude. But Hyperion is it seems to just be good in any scenario. Is there a team fight? Hyperion makes it better. Is there not a team fight? You're just trying to push down this fort? Hyperion is wonderful.
What Hyperion also seems to do is really change, swing the momentum of a team fight, because all of a sudden, rather than stand and fight, you suddenly have to scramble and get the hell out of there. And sometimes then you can pick off a single guy who his whole team left him because they went south and he went north and whatever.
Yeah.
So it totally affects things.
You can kind of game the system, because the way it works is, if you read the tooltip, it says Hyperion slowly travels, dealing 500, 120 plus 20 per level damage per second to a random enemy target in its path. It lasts for 12 seconds. So if all 5 of you actually stand in this thing,
only one gets hit.
One gets hit, and it's per shot, so it could actually, bounce between you guys. Whereas if there's only one of you in it, you're probably gonna freaking die.
Yeah.
So if you can't escape, everyone should stay in this.
Yeah.
if you can get, obviously get the hell out. But I've had instances where all 5 of us have been in Hyperion and things have gone a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how that kind of works.
Yeah.
It's his own controllability.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's scary. A giant battle cruiser shadow is cast on the ground. There's a big area effect that's just moving across the map. You don't want to be standing in it. It's a lot like Starfall. Maybe you're not dying to it, but it's a frightening thing. It's going to make people get out of there. It's going to stop a tribute from getting grabbed.
Yeah, there's a lot of good uses in this game when you're talking about, like, you could chuck it on top of the turn-in for doubloons or something, and suddenly you own the turn-in. So yeah, it's cool. Cool things can be done with it.
Yeah, you made a good point. Toronto Starfall, Sergeant Hammer's Napalm Strike, they kind of did the same thing. It's just like, this is my area now. You can stand here if you want, but you will die. Mm-hmm. It's zone control is really important in this kind of game.
Yeah, I have a feeling that, like, if you're a really advanced player, though, you might take the Raynor's Raiders just because of the fact that, when you're in like a one-on-one fight or something, like, it's just kind of going to win you that fight. So if you are a roamer and that's what you're planning to do, like, that could be really effective.
Well, and I think in the future it's going to be less scary. We're going to be exposed to the Hyperion a lot, and you cast it in front of you and it slowly moves forward. Guess where there is no Hyperion? Right on top of you. So I'm expecting in the future to people just dog Raynor, like, oh, what, you wasted your ult. Let's all charge forward. Get him.
Yeah. It's
Whereas,
true.
I mean, the Raynor's Raiders, like, that's pumping out a lot of extra damage. It looks small at first. You read the tooltip and it's doing 10 damage each from each one. Wait, they're shooting 2 volleys. So really it's 40 damage.
Yeah.
That adds up really quickly.
They're always attacking what you're attacking. So
exactly.
They actually, you target the thing you want to attack with this, and they help you out just naturally. So you can actually go, oh, I want to get the guy with low health. Whereas Hyperion, it's like, damn it, the guy with low health ran away. Okay, yeah, I guess he got away.
Or imagine you're in a team fight, Illidan pops that ulti that we all hate. He needs to die. All right, Banshee's on him now.
Yeah, Banshee's on him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's jury's out still at this point, obviously, on all of the ultis. I mean,
I personally go Hyperion every time.
Except triple tap. That one's clearly the best one. The Valk apparently plays a difference. So,
I see a lot of Novas
taking the other one too.
Using the orbital strike, and it is good. You can lead on that thing like a son of a gun.
Yeah, no, and it kills buildings and stuff too. So,
and it's so impressive too. When I play with Valk and there's never a time where he doesn't get it, and it doesn't. It looks like they're just about to escape, but then they die, and the physics kicks in, and they fly across the map, and you're just like, yeah. That's one dead ETC.
Well, that's the thing too. People can't really run away because you can go as far as you want with that thing.
Yep,
pretty nice.
It's nice. So, if you haven't been playing Raynor because he was the starter hero, give him another chance. Because honestly, even with these nerfs, I still think he's really good. I'm playing around with him quite a bit this past week.
He really is a nice starter. If you're into range, he is your starter character. If you're a melee guy, I suggest your starter character be Muradin. Very tanky, has a jump to get you out of some bad spots, and you're going to get in them as a melee guy.
I like Barbarian better, but yes.
Well, Barbarian, you still have to wait till level 10 to get your jump. And even then, you're giving up one of your best damage abilities now in the game. But one of the things that can really kind of just advertise to the whole team that you're not so hot is your usage of Penetrating Round. Because this does a knockback. So this has happened for us. I mean, we'll be playing and we'll be, oh, thanks, Raynor, you saved my ass. Because he pushed you out of the way. He shot you, it didn't kill you, it didn't do enough damage, and it pushed you right where you're safe. Yeah. So Penetrating Round can be really good if you run around a corner and push him into your friends, and so he can get destroyed. But it's also one of those abilities, maybe it's best as a killing shot.
Yeah. Well, it's if you're going to move and you want to move in the correct direction, like you said, and ETC is the other one like this too, where you're playing with him and you're like, stop it! Stop knocking them out of my stuff!
Yeah. Anyway, Diablo also has a knockback.
Yeah, but Diablo has the swing back into your guys though too, which is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Raynor can slow you down and speed up, but then you knock him away and it's no good. So be careful with that.
Yeah. Well, let's take some emails before we end the show. You can send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Lethargic writes in this week. It's not a very optimistic name. He says, what is the best way to make up a 2-level deficit? Say level 11 versus 9, where your team doesn't have their alts.
Split up.
And also what we talked about today, mercenaries. Mercenaries really help.
Yeah.
They're a lot easier to kill when you're behind on levels.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to group up and try to engage and like win a team fight. That's not what you want to do.
No, but if you can group up and pick off a few stragglers if they're not together as a team, that's the other good way to go.
Yeah. But it seems to be like the best thing to do is just split up and lane for a second. Because you can usually swing back that. You gain XP faster than they do when you're behind. So
yeah. D-Day in the chat room is yelling in all caps, don't fight the other team.
Yep. Stay the hell away.
It's true, and because these games are shorter, doesn't mean they're any less dangerous. So in the MOBAs you're playing right now out there, like there could be 5 minutes in between someone being level 11 and someone being level 9. In this game, that can be like a 20-second difference.
Yeah,
and it's a bit shocking how in that 2-level difference, you think, oh, for the last 5 minutes, that team has just been owning me in Dota. So the fact that they're more powerful really kind of makes sense there. Whereas here, you get in one really bad engagement, they wipe out your whole team. 20 seconds later, you're back in the fight. It's pretty early on, but they're just so powerful. And it's blowing your mind. You're throwing yourself at them because there's no reason this quickly that they should be that much more powerful than you. So I feel like our sensibilities need to change.
Yeah. There's also, though, I don't know if you've noticed this kind of weird thing that happens where they'll get their ultis first. Then they use their ultis first. Then they don't have their ultis when you get yours, and then you win that second fight. Like, I've actually seen that thing happen too, where like they all get them and they go, "Yeah, got them. Let's burn them," and then you suddenly get yours, and then they don't have. So it's like they win, then you win. I've seen that happen several times. Yeah. So as long as you're smart about it, you can sneak up on them when you do get yours.
I had so many
sounds
games.
Like the old Mechatord card.
I had so many games on Cursed Hollow where we would just hit level 10 as we're all engaging on top of the tribute before the other team and just destroy them.
Decimate them, yeah.
Timing, being able to gauge, we're about to hit 10. We know a team fight's coming up. So you just call everyone. Everyone get over here. Get ready.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. Dills, you want to take the next email?
Sure. It's from Gabriel. It says, talking about the game Smite. You mentioned this game once in your first podcast, but I think it should be mentioned a little more. It is the only MOBA that allows you to immerse yourself into your character as in WoW. I think that is the way Blizzard should have went. I want to be Arthas, not control him. I don't play the traditional only for that reason. I don't know what that means. I don't play the traditional?
I don't either.
Traditional MOBAs, I think you're saying, only for that reason. Can't get used to not using WASD keys, but you can in Smite. Also in Smite, they could sneak up behind you. Still hoping for the best, though. Thanks. I really like that Smite does it this way, but I think Blizzard was just going for a traditional type of MOBA view and feel with their own kind of tweak in, and this is like Smite just like really separates themselves with this one type of thing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be mad if it was like that, but I understand why Blizzard chose this way. It's just you have a better view of what's going on overall. Map.
I like Smite. I played quite a bit of it when it first came out.
It's a cool game.
Between the two, I definitely prefer the isometric view. And then the only thing that I think is like an argument point is that I think Smite is awful to observe because it's fully 3D. It's really, really hard to properly observe. So if you're doing something that is obviously so many people around doing the debates, is this going to be an esport? Is it not going to be esport? Doesn't matter. Clearly, it's leaning towards competitive play. And if you're going to do something that is probably going to be played competitively, I like it to be watchable and easily understandable from a spectator's point of view. And the isometric view just wins in all those fights, in my opinion.
Right. Sure. And I have no doubt that they could make a good observer feature for that. I mean, just kind of what they do for the WoW tournaments they have, where they just kind of have a guy flying about so you can tell outside of the character's view what's happening. I mean,
do you really have any idea what's happening when you watch WoW streams? Do you really have a clue? Because I don't.
No, but the idea that you can sneak up behind someone, like you can have a stealth character who's not actually invisible. He's just quick. Or you play him in a stealthy way. That's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things I did really enjoy about Smite.
I do like to watch a WoW stream, but I don't like to watch the tournaments, the arena tournaments. But I watch some soda popping, do some arenas and stuff where you can see from his point of view what's going on. But it's true, it's not as watchable as like StarCraft, Dota, League of Legends.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, I enjoy. I don't mind watching shooters every now and then, especially when Halo was real big. But shooters are kind of hard to watch too for the same reason.
Yeah, if you're not controlling that view, then it's really like disorienting almost. Like things are. He's swinging his head left and right, doing stuff, and you don't control it.
It's almost
it
like
feels
people.
Bizarre.
It's almost like people who get car sick only when they ride in a car.
Sure, yeah, but when they drive the car, they're fine. Yeah, no, it's totally that way. And I think that Smite is really cool, and I like that game a lot. And I think that that idea to kind of put this spin on it by doing this one thing differently really worked for that game. But I don't know if it would work for this game, and I don't think that Blizzard really wanted to do something massively different. They just wanted to change the other stuff that they didn't like about the existing things. So.
Right, exactly. Not to mention the thing was conceived as a StarCraft 2 mod.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah,
if you think about where this game came from, it's not all that surprising. But yeah, no, Smite's super cool.
I almost feel like this is like Blizzard like taking this back. Like, hey man, this was ours. We did this.
It definitely has that feel to it a little bit.
Yeah,
little bit. Final email today comes to us from Pydon or Pidden. I'm not sure how you'd pronounce it. He says, "Greetings, Stormcallers." That's not bad.
What we are?
I'll go with that.
I'll
go with Stormcallers. I don't mind that. Makes me feel like a shaman.
It's very important, actually.
He said, congrats on creating another awesome podcast. It's been great listening so far, and I look forward to future episodes as Heroes moves towards full release. My question is this. Blizzard has a lot of great characters and personalities inside and outside of their game worlds. As Heroes seems to be a giant celebration of Blizzard itself, do you see them breaking the fourth wall a bit and bringing their personalities from the real world into the game? I'm thinking maybe a Dustin Browder or maybe even a Total Biscuit announcer pack. Heck, I'd like to see them go as far as making a Chris Metzen Skin of Thrall or maybe a Samwise DJ as Chen. What do you guys think, and what would you like to see if Blizzard does something like this? Thanks again for the great content. Take care, guys. I would buy it tomorrow if they made a Samwise skin for Chen.
Sure.
Tomorrow.
I feel like they should be doing this in Hearthstone and stuff too, like in all their games. They already do it in WoW, really. I mean, there's a Ghost Crawler like in the game, Even though he's not in Blizzard anymore. Well, yeah, but
they're not going to go back and remove him.
They're not going to go. Yeah, screw this guy.
Wouldn't that be so great?
No, but I mean, they clearly. I mean, there's a freaking Dills pants. Like, I'm just a podcaster. Like, they break the fourth wall all the time in that game.
There's a little more subtle. I mean, granted, if like Chris Metzen was running around in the game looking like
actual
with
Chris
his
Metzen.
beard and just say BlizzCon.
Yeah. Do you guys remember what was it? NBA Jam, and you could like do a code, and then the face would be like some dude who was like a creator of the game. Do you guys remember any of that stuff? I think the same stuff happened in like Mortal Kombat too.
Are you talking about a sport? Is this a sports thing?
Yeah, you never played NBA Jam in the arcade? Come on, man.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
He's on fire. Like, okay.
Yeah, no, that was. I believe there were Easter eggs like that in Mortal Kombat, and like all of the faces in GoldenEye that weren't like James Bond or any of the actors were.
Yeah, they are all actual guys
devs.
who worked on the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see something like that working. It's just, I mean, if Nova can be on friggin' roller skates and like licking a popsicle, sure, why not?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, in StarCraft 2, the face of the Goliath was Dustin Browder. So, skins like that, that's a lot of fun. Do I actually want like Dustin Browder the hero like dropping rocks everywhere that people have to destroy? Like, no. That's...
No. I don't want that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I want Dustin Browder's heroic rock powers. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But that could be his only option of a heroic ability. There's nothing else he would ever pick.
Chris Metzen, you have your choice between Horde or Alliance, and you ride around on a chopper.
I got some good news and I got some bad news. Yeah. No, let's not do this.
But
I think it's fun.
Yeah, that'd be all. We have already kind of broken that a little bit with ETC. He's not. I mean, he's a long-running joke, but he's not really a character.
Sure.
Nope.
Do you think we're gonna see a Leroy Jenkins hero? By the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You heard about that?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
He just spawns like a horde of whelps.
Yeah, but like they attack him, so like he can go in and like do some crazy damage, but then he has to get the hell out.
He should be taking damage.
Him.
So it's almost like an AOE damage, but it's hurting him while he's doing it, almost like Hellfire with warlocks or something.
Oh yeah, you get a speed boost, but you're taking damage over time.
Oh, that'd be so freaking great.
It could be amazing.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
I don't mind Blizzard breaking the fourth wall, and they do it quite a bit. I mean, WoW has so many friggin' pop culture references in it. It's just
I want to fight as Harris Pilton, man. What's going on?
There you go. Yeah,
She just throws bags and blinds people with her sunglass glare.
She has like a little chihuahua that comes after you. And, amazing.
Man, I'd be so all into that.
This game they can do whatever they want. This game is clearly as long as the balance is there, the competitive aspect is there.
Yeah, I do not think
it's get away with almost anything.
I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. Yep. I don't think so at all.
I mean, look at Kaiju, or is that what they call it? The Diablo skin. That Godzilla, that has nothing to do with Blizzard.
Yeah. Nope. Pajama Third.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Lumberjack Uther. There's going to be things that just not really related, but hey, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that's good. So, anyways, I think that'll do it for today's episode. That was a really good email, Pyden. Thanks for I like the fun emails. We just get to goof around. It's not everything's balance and strats. Anyways, that'll about do it. Thanks to those of you who are leaving us reviews in the iTunes store. We really appreciate it. It helps out the new show quite a bit. This week I wanted to thank Mr. Beethoven, Reebs1990, who said it allows him to be not such a noob, but he's still a noob. But thanks. Will at Shannon. Thank you for your review. Nobed, Dirkaz, and Azrin. Well, thank you all this week. Thank you very much for your iTunes reviews.
I also want to respond to somebody who said that we were bashing LoL and Dota, and I don't think I ever bashed any of those games. I think those games are great. I just couldn't get into them, and that's an honest statement. It's not a bash.
I think we've been just singing the praises of what we like about this game compared to the other MOBAs, and that could be taken as criticism.
You could construe it as bashing if you really like those other two games, but as someone who tried to get into them and couldn't, it's an honest opinion. I wanted to like these games. I wanted to get into it. The barrier was somehow too much for me to overcome.
Yeah.
That's all. And that's not a bash. I think the game is fine. If you like the game, great.
Kyle and I love
just
Dota.
Understand, I'm not bashing.
We love Dota.
Yeah, and you guys definitely love Dota. There's no
in order to make comparisons, that's what we have. And same thing when I got into Hearthstone, the first thing I did was, oh my god, I can't actually not draw mana. This is incredible. I don't hate Magic for that reason. So, and I know last week I was definitely I got in my first game of Dota in a long time and it was shitty.
It happens.
No, I understand where this guy was coming from. I just want to make sure that people understand we don't hate any of those other games. We just really like this game. We're going to talk about why we like it.
If you want to hear me hating on a game, go listen to past StarCast episodes.
There you go. Yeah.
Because League of Legends is just. I'm sorry.
Legions.
Sorry, I started falling asleep there. It sucks because now I can no longer make the joke of controlling one unit. That game sounds really hard. Because now I really like. Like two MOBAs now. Yeah. But back in the early days of StarCast, I hated on League of Legends. I will admit to it. I have yet to even come close to that level of shitting on something on this show. So
and I mean, let's just put it out there. League of Legends, you look a little old, and if I didn't have nostalgia for World of Warcraft, I would walk through that world and go, "What's the big deal?"
I'll explain it right here and now, because a lot of people ask, why do you pick one game over the other? Kyle, you played the original Dota, so naturally you were into Dota 2.
Yep.
I tried both of them, immediately got called offensive names for gay people, and never played again until you were like, hey, come try Dota. So I tried Dota again because I had a friend that played it, and it stuck. That's the only reason.
Right, I taught you how to ignore people, how to just silence them with a button click.
Yep.
So.
And I feel like if you had played LOL, I would be a LOL fan. So
we're going to have to get into this in depth next week, but I want to talk about what Browder said about maybe having no chat in this game, but in depth. It's too late now. But
yes. We'll make it a
his
talking
interview
point
was,
next
was
week.
quite interesting.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely bring it. Well, not next week, but in 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks.
Right.
Man, it's going to be such old news then. Never mind.
No,
How
we should
old is
still,
this?
absolutely should still talk about it.
All right.
That's not a balance change. That's not something that
That's true.
changes very
that's
quickly.
a topic that we can talk about at any moment.
Yeah,
It's a philosophy.
There you go. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. You can see more about this and all of the other AMove shows at that website, so bookmark it. Our email is itncast@gmail.com. The forum is over at forum.amove.tv. We do have an Into the Nexus subforum now, so head on over there and talk about the show. Talk about Heroes of the Storm. Or there's other forums too where you can talk about other stuff. So I'm missing my Doctor Who fans. Someone get on there and start talking Doctor Who because I need someone to talk Doctor Who with. Catch the live show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, but not next Thursday. Because I'll be sipping on margaritas and sunbathing. I probably won't. I sunburn like crazy. Anyways, we usually
you're gonna have your sweet little European thong on, right?
I've got my banana hammocks already,
Good.
rolled up in the
Sweet.
suitcase. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get nice and tan for when we do the next Angry Chicken Invitational, and you're the ring girl. Remember?
I forgot I agreed to that. Yeah, I'm just gonna come out with the numbers and.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Fight night stopped it, so we're not even going to bother. Yeah, we normally record at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you ever want to catch us live, the Twitch stream is twitch.tv/amovetv. Follow that channel, please. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast. I can be found at Garrett Art. Dills is at Willie Dills, and Kyle is at Kyle Fergusson. Brian Griffith is a musician who is responsible for our intro music. His website is briangriffithmusic.com. You can also find my personal website at nomoonart.com. That's my graphic design portfolio. I do freelance work, so check it out. Dills, where can people find you?
You can find me on The Instance, which is World of Warcraft podcast. We record every Friday morning, and I have one tomorrow, actually. Torchcast podcast about the Giants, first place San Francisco Giants, by the way. Of course, the Angry Chicken with Mr. Garrett right here, and of course Jocelyn Moffat. And the MGA is in full swing. I actually made the money at the last tournament. I won $0.040000, and I was pretty proud of that. I shot a 93, and and I think my golf game is around now, dude. I think I'm going to be breaking 90 pretty soon. So. Watch out for that. And if you suck at golf, you can join mgatour.com. There you go.
I guess I should join.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not good at it.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. I don't know. I think we have a Florida chapter somewhere. I don't know. Maybe.
I got that clown's mouth down.
Yeah, and you, Kyle, there is a Chicago chapter, but I guess that doesn't do you any good now.
Yeah, not for long. And I would have to go a ways to get out of the city.
Well, here's the good news for you, though. There is a Seattle chapter, my friend. Second chapter ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kyle, where can people find you when you're not doing the Heroes show?
You can find everything I do at amove.tv, which you should. Let me just pimp. Biggest fan. Follow the fat that drive you mad. We just did Indiana Jones. You should check that out. But you should also check out our Monday show, which streams live, which is AMove Radio. And that is just a wonderful, calm talk show about what's going on in the week. Mostly Game of Thrones right now. So if you're watching that, you should check it out.
It's usually calm. Not when like Elder Scrolls Online arts direction is brought up. We're not too calm, but otherwise it's a usually pretty calm show. It's good stuff. Yeah, check out A-Move Radio with Kyle, Ben, and myself. Also, please check out our sponsors. We're sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com and TweakedAudio.com. The code to use is ITN. That'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, as well as 30% off and free shipping from your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from TweakedAudio.com. And we thank them for their support. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I guess for this week, I'll sign out by saying, ah!
Ah!